Doctors remind people with chronic illnesses must be cautious with their diets during the holidays. Taipei Tzu Chi volunteers celebrated Lunar New Year ahead of time with the Fanglan Mansion residents. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Lori Chen. Thank you for joining us. During the Lunar New Year holiday, people tend to overeat. However, doctors warn individuals with chronic diseases must be more cautious with their diets during the festivities. It's advised to eat more vegetables and fruits and exercise regularly.
People tend to buy these abundant candies and cookies as snacks for the Lunar New Year. Here are some tips for buying them.
Things such as their preservation conditions, the temperature they are stored in, and if they are properly covered.
It is also important to know their expiration dates, but we should limit to the amount we eat.
Candies and cookies are all processed, so they contain a lot of sodium and calories, which can make the hypertension very unstable, and candies are bad for your blood sugar level.
People tend to eat and drink a lot during this period, so they should watch their weight. People with chronic diseases or high levels of cholesterol, blood sugar, or hypertension must restrict what they eat.
A lot of fried foods have high calories and fat, and these are serious to patients with cholesterol, blood sugar, or hypertension problems. Furthermore, they can cause indigestion.
During the festival time, people should avoid overeating, eat vegetables and fruits, and exercise so they can remain healthy and enjoy the festivities.
Tzu Chi volunteer Huang Dingfeng is a barber in Taichung. He's notoriously known to always be sharing Tzu Chi's principles with his customers. In return, many of his customers are now Tzu Chi's donating members.
You should go to the year-end ceremonies on the 16th.
While cutting the customer's hair, he also invites him to attend the year-end ceremony.
I came for a haircut and heard him saying how good Tzu Chi was. Now my whole family are Tzu Chi donating members.
Old customers know I do Tzu Chi work, so I tell them things about Tzu Chi.
The TV is tuned to DaAi TV only.
I watch it after I wake up. If you want to learn more, you must watch DaAi TV to see what Tzu Chi is doing.
He tells his customers any news from DaAi TV and the Dharma conveyed by Master Zhen Yan.
Huang said he heard the master talking about the environmental protection years ago at a recycling station. And since then, he has been devoted to Tzu Chi. The coin bag is a reminder to him not to forget the many suffering people.
Every time I give a haircut, I donate $10. I can't donate a large sum of money, so I donate small amounts and give them to Master Zhen Yan and become part of a large sum to help suffering people around the world.
He always remembers that Master Zhen Yan tells her disciples to spread the Dharma and to purify people's hearts. So he has been doing this while cutting hair for 60 years.
In Thailand, after the tropical storm Babuk devastated Nakhon Si Thammarat, the government is helping the affected residents rebuild their homes, while Tzu Chi volunteers distributed financial assistance to more than 200 households.
After tropical storm Babuk devastated Nakhon Si Thammarat, Tzu Chi volunteers distributed financial assistance to 220 families whose houses collapsed.
The government helps rebuild collapsed houses, therefore I will use the money to buy some daily supplies.
I will spend the money on house repairs and my family's living expenses.
Watching the video showing Tzu Chi's footprints worldwide, they've realized that some people in the world are facing even more difficulties.
I did not imagine that Tzu Chi would really come to help us. When the volunteers visited us, I thought they were just taking a look. I am really happy that I can receive the financial assistance today.
I do not know how to describe our gratitude.
The affected residents who have received Tzu Chi's financial assistance go home joyfully, ready to rebuild their lives.
Now we continue to look back at Tzu Chi's major events that took place in both July and August of 2018.
In July, a dam in Laos collapsed, sending flash floods through its neighboring villages. Tzu Chi members from Taiwan soon arrived to help produce clean water for the villagers.
他们既然遭遇到困难了，我们伸出援手，我认为是应该的。
The dam collapse in Laos also affected Cambodia. Tzu Chi volunteers quickly gave out bread to those affected. In 2018, Tzu Chi Hong Kong celebrated its 25th anniversary. The other Tzu Chi chapter that also turned 25 in 2018 is Singapore. In the 7th lunar month, Tzu Chi volunteers held prayer concerts across Taiwan to promote vegetarianism and filial piety. During the concerts, a Taiwanese opera troupe was invited to present a Buddhist story about the importance of cherishing all living beings. In August, continued heavy rains caused widespread flooding in southern Taiwan. Tzu Chi volunteers quickly delivered hot meals to those affected. Tzu Chi's volunteer doctors also went to serve. Apart from giving out gift cards for those affected to purchase what they needed, the volunteers also helped to clean up the houses of the elderly and visited people door to door to bring them comfort.
Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for the veterans at the Fanglan Mansion for more than 20 years now. Every year, volunteers will go and have a year reunion meal with the grandpas. With the elders getting older, volunteers have been mindfully catering to their needs.
今天是100多150左右吧。
几桌啊？
今天12桌，应该12桌。
所以每一年都要这样子？
今年是比较少的呢。
以前更多多少人？
以前哦，
曾经做过最多的？
最多做到差不多40桌呢。
哦，40桌。
现在当然比较少了。 年长者他们都已经回去了。
Because the dishes are all made for the seniors, we pay special attention to the softness of the food. In addition, it needs to look appetizing and taste good. There also needs to have a homey feeling.
They would tell us that they don't want to attend a reunion meal. When I heard this, I asked them why. They told us that it's because they can't really chew the food. It was too firm. Therefore, we try to make our dishes softer and easy to eat for them. This attention to detail really makes them feel warm inside.
All the elders here, our elders, are like family. Since it's already been more than 18 years that we have been coming here, so I thought since the Lunar New Year is just around the corner, we should do a reunion meal with everyone. The grandpas really like it when we visit them. They're always looking forward to it. So we initially thought to transport the grandpas to one of the Tzu Chi grounds, but it wasn't such a good idea. We have rented minivans before to transport the elders with mobility difficulties, but it wasn't ideal either. Because you see, most of the grandpas here are all around 80 to 90 years old already. It's not so convenient for them to leave this environment. We also thought that we shouldn't take the risk of having them get in and out of the minivans. That's why in the end, we decided to keep having the reunion meal here at the familiar living quarters. This way, we can directly bring the Dharma and best wishes to them. At the same time, they feel more comfortable in their familiar surroundings. Those chairs right there, when the place gets crowded with people, it's going to be a hindrance. I think it's best if we removed all of them. Because when we start to move about the space, serving up the dishes, it's going to be a problem, especially for the grandpas that have mobility difficulties. Some of them need another person to walk them to their seats, so we need the extra space. This is a fall risk. We have the responsibility to keep them safe. So we would rather work harder, okay? We can overcome the difficulties, right? Thank you for understanding my concerns. I am very grateful for you, team leader. Every month, Hong Kong Tzu Chi volunteers will go to a community in Kowloon to provide free meals for the community seniors. Since it's almost the Lunar New Year, the celebration was combined with the year-end blessing ceremony.
The tall buildings are a symbolic landscape of Hong Kong. Tzu Chi volunteers held the year-end blessing ceremony at the plaza. Many residents have come and joined the event.
I did recycling and joined book club during my early volunteer days. I felt joyful while doing all of these things. Whenever I hear Dharma Master Zheng Yan's teachings, the words deeply touch me and warm up my heart.
Special activities were arranged for the seniors. Under the volunteers' guidance, the elders enjoy learning the sign language. This individual here used to be homeless, but with volunteers' company and encouragement, he was able to walk out of the darkness and have changed for the betterment.
I don't need to sleep at the 24-hour fast food restaurant anymore. After joining Tzu Chi, I had a change for the better, and I started to do good deeds as well.
This venue is usually hard to book, but with a call we can immediately conduct events or activities. Also, every month we will provide one free meal for the elders.
The volunteers will prepare a free meal per month for the seniors. As we can see, the volunteers have built up a strong friendship with the local residents.
Ilan Tzu Chi volunteers invited local care recipients to attend a year-end reunion event, which included many different services, such as free haircuts, public health promotion, and second-hand goods.
It is time for care recipients to return to Tzu Chi for a reunion feast. All kinds of events are held in the venue. Miss Nguyen from Vietnam experienced the pain of her father-in-law and her husband developing cancer. Now she donates regularly to pay back.
The school teacher knew about our condition, so she told Tzu Chi about us, and the volunteers came to our home. I've crossed that difficult period, so I want to give love to people who need it.
Miss Luo has been raising her great-grandson for years. The teenager is videoed to her, and he will take high school exams in May.
I want to thank everyone for your blessing. I'll do my best.
My great-grandson is well-behaved. I only want him to be well-behaved and study hard. And he has to pay back and be grateful to your love. I'm grateful to everyone for your care for him.
The volunteers will continue helping this elderly woman and her great-grandson and other care recipients so they can continue to live with hope and dignity.
A very dedicated Malaysia team doctor, Ong Gen Hong, had always dreamed of becoming a writer. However, later in life, he saw the many sufferings of people with illnesses. Therefore, he replaced his pen with a stethoscope in order to save more lives.
Pediatrician An Ki Hong always wants to be a doctor since he was young.
I want to give hope to those people who need it when they are the most vulnerable, and I can help free them from their suffering.
After finishing his internship, he returned to his hometown and is now working at the Central Hospital of Perlis City, and he can be with his family.
My parents are old too, so if I don't grasp the time to care for them now, when should I do it?
Working as a doctor is never an easy job, so every doctor has to sacrifice something. He has to give up his favorite writing.
The last time I was writing was when I began my internship. Eventually I had to stop writing completely because my life as an intern had become extremely busy.
No matter how busy he is, his passion for helping people stays as strong as ever. On weekends, he tries to attend Tima's free clinics. Dr. Tambu Kat often works with him and has many gurus to say about him.
We know doctors have enormous responsibilities. Sometimes he has to take the night shift, but he never overlooked our Tzu Chi events. Most of the time he has to drive from Perlis. He does his work seriously, and he is very diligent and always balances between his work and the free clinics.
Love and tension helps Dr. N to think from a patient's point of view when he treats them. This leads him to accomplish many difficult tasks.
In our continuous series on water resources, we are taking a look at the issue of water shortage through a child's perspective. Every 90 seconds in the world, one child passes away due to water-related issues. On average, children in Kenya spend 8 hours a day gathering water. Some even give up their studies just to get water.
In the early morning, these girls carry a yellow bucket as they need to collect a whole day's worth of water. One girl is 11-year-old Izol Achang, who is the daughter of the village chief. The local guide, Apollo, explains that in a patriarchal society, a girl has to be responsible for some of the heavy housework.
There are people bathing, washing themselves at the same point, and the cows even poo at the same point, and that's the only water available, so everyone is struggling to get that water.
From June to March each year is the local dry season, with the dirt steaming with heat, as it's hard to find a single drop of water. On the day this interviewed team arrived, people including cattle flocked to this pond, which is less than 100 square meters.
Women move long distances to reach for water. And the water they are reaching, it is not clean.
This scarce water source has gotten dirty. Fortunately for the 300,000 residents of Wera village, there is a nearby Lake Victoria, with a round trip to get water covering 14 kilometers.
Or they have to buy water from water vendors. And one, you also don't know where they got that water from. So you're buying water and you're risking your life also.
Maybe you think the government should be involved in ensuring the water supply. Actually, the government is doing little to help the locals as it earns money by extracting water from Lake Victoria and selling it to the public in volumes of 20 liters for 50 US cents, with prices, larger units of water costing 27 US dollars, which is 90 times that of Taiwan.
On average, the common person would earn less than $1 in a day. So at that rate means you'll only be able to have 20 liters. You're working for 20 liters per day.
But not everyone can afford water. A water project initiated by the Kenyan government has stalled. The black buckets simply hang at the side. These children return home from the lake, arriving at the school late in the afternoon. When Isel returns home, she prepares for a second round of getting water, where a village sees 15% of the population relying on fishing, and 60% are farmers. Without proper management, even if there's a lake, not everyone in the village is given access.
Still, the factor of water and food makes them again not to continue. They just continue. Sometimes they discontinue with the schooling because there is no water.
A UNICEF survey in 2017 found that Kenya had a population of 3.5 million, which needed clean drinking water. This means we're a village is just the tip of the iceberg. This 12-year-old boy, Samvel Salumia, is learning to grow plants and herbs from his neighbor Andrew. Samvel's family is shepherds, though their flock could not stand the drought, causing the family financial hardship. For this reason, learning to plant is far more important than going to school. Taking advantage of the rainy season has to work quickly to put in these crops.
Yes, just changed my life. Yes, because when I sold this vegetable, I actually have the chicken there. I sold and buy the chicken there.
Their life depends on their farming skills.
Food first, water, and then education comes last.
The Global Risk Report published by the World Economic Forum has listed water shortage as one of the most pressing crises that will affect global stability in the next 10 years. The World Bank also warned that there will be 1.6 billion people in the next 20 years with limited access to water.
One of the fastest growing areas where population is growing very rapidly. If there are more and more humans, they need more and more food, water, energy, etc.
Kenya, the cycle of poverty passed from generation to generation, aggravates the problem of water shortage caused by climate change. Because of this, education has become an unattainable hope for many Kenyan children.
The Tzu Chi kindergartners in Johor Bahru, Malaysia are actively promoting vegetarianism. Let's check out these adorable seasoned environmental protection activists. Thank you for watching. See you next time.